Hello there, fellow researchers. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld Inquest of the Dead. Episode 19, Scanning the Ground for Metal. So, as you can see, we have long neglected opening the Ancient Dangers, which I intend to do, maybe after the refugees leave, because we only have so many beds. But what I wanted to talk about is to clear up a little bit of confusion for the game mechanics of like inside, outside. I know it's like a bit in the weeds, but here's basically how it works. If a room is more than a quarter unroofed, it isn't indoors anymore. What's confusing about our current situation here is that items that would normally decay if left outside don't, like these packaged survival meals, yes? However, the workbenches are outdoors. And this is because this area here, I would consider as not outdoors. There's different levels of outdoors essentially in RimWorld. So there is using the outdoor temperature. If a small room has more than a quarter of the roof removed, it uses the outdoor temperature, like one of the thermal chimneys that you see me frequently use, right? Where you dump your heat into basically a small room so that it doesn't, your air conditioners aren't attacked. Then there's the concept of outdoor for work, which is what causes these workbenches to be outdoors. Outdoor for work requires you to have at least 3/4 of the roof closed off, which we do. But also, no more than 100 unroofed tiles, which we don't. So if you look at the roof map, and as you can see, I've actually roofed up sections of this incorrectly, so while I'm staring at it, let's fix it. But essentially, our farmland is too large for it to be indoors, and we could fix that if we wanted to, which would speed up the work speed of our workbenches. But basically, this area here is too unroofed to be indoors for like workshop purposes, but roofed up enough to not allow items to decay or corpses to revive. So it's this weird sort of like, it's not a square or a circle, it's somewhere in between Venn diagram. That was probably even more confusing. And then there's the like psychologically outdoors, which is a whole different requirement, which is that a room has to have more than 300 unroofed tiles. And that allows for you to have like the I am outside benefit, fulfilling your outdoor needs. So for instance, okay, Scorp is a really bad example, but like our base is not outdoors. And that actually might become a problem if we have a compound that is all roofed up. We end up just like indoors all the time. And you could hypothetically design it so that it's outdoors if you wanted to by unroofing a certain amount of tiles. So I just wanted to clear that up because, it's rather confusing. But basically outdoors, psychologically outdoors, where you go nature running and like ambrosia can spawn and things like that, you can have in a room, but it has to be a ridiculously large room with more than 300 unroofed tiles, which would be like, this many unroofed tiles. And then it would still require, which is roughly the size of a farm, mind you, which also requires you to have at least 3/4 roofed up or whatever. So I digress. I just wanted to explain that, like, we could fix the whole fact that, like, we have work speed negative factors here. And in order to fix that, it'd be really easy. All we would need to do is, like, put a wall here. And then the workshop would be indoors because we would be having the amount of unroofed tiles as a result of farmland. So, all right, that could explain to death. Let's get back to what we were doing. Kadath, I'm gonna have you wake up real quick and construct this back door that got broken. We're tending the refugees that decided to get in a social fight with us, which is like super dumb. Don't do it, because you'll lose. And what we're trying to do is work towards adding additional people and mentoring additional people to our roster. I'm a little worried that Tony here is going to have like a mental break because he is about to withdraw from alcohol, and he's going to go crazy without it. How far did the refugees get in the pollution cleanup? Quite a bit, actually. If you look up here, there's a huge swath up here that is now cleaned up. A lot of a river is cleaned up. Most of this building is cleaned up. This section wasn't needing cleanup because pollution doesn't generate underneath mountains. So if you mine away the mountain, inside the mountain, of course, will be clean. But they got pretty far. So we're getting pretty close to fabrication. And once we get fabrication, we can get advanced fabrication, which allows us to you know, build bionics and better armor, and just basically everything we want is locked by advanced fabrication. Question for you: should I cut the? So essentially, what I'm asking is, should I try to make the outdoors a workshop by splitting our base like this? Adding a wall with like doors open so that there's two sections, and what that would do is it would have the outdoors requirement removed, so work speed factor would be increased. The reason not to do this is if I ever intend to have like an actual workshop with an actual fabrication bench, and I probably wouldn't want a fabrication bench out in the open like this, which is kind of dangerous. This wouldn't be necessary. So should I build a wall to designate the outdoor area as indoors? Because if I do, it's going to require some bridges, and it's going to remove some farmable soil, but like maybe it's something you want. So the poll is up there, and you can vote for it if you'd like. I don't have strong feelings either way, so again, either way, I don't care. So I am just utilizing the new farmland we've got. I'm not sure what I want to plant here just yet. Let's see. Maybe more heel root, because I imagine we're going to go through it quickly. Really? I have a heel root too? Oh, yeah, I do. I should know that. We were trying to replace the tattered apparel for our refugees, and wow, Raven Bear, thank you for the gifted subs again. So Sales has a shirt that's like fallen off, and we have yet to make a new one. Tony has also a shirt and pants. The pants are locked because it's at 50%, but when they drop down to 49%, that sounds like he's removing his pants. When they tatter to 49%, and then Good, of course, regularly has tattered armor. And we might want to replace that. It's just, I don't have a lot of, like, we'd have to go to the Ancient Day to replace that. Oh, there was another game mechanic that people were wondering about. I got some comments about this, so I figured it would be worth answering. The question was, if I put my pollution by the Pollux trees, wouldn't that be better? And my answer is essentially no, absolutely not. And the reason is a single Pollux tree or a single waste pack pollutes this much area, right? Because a single a stack, because you can't not stack them, is 5. And 5, each waste pack is 6 tiles, so it's 30 tiles. So if we put more than just like a single stack of waste near the Pollux trees, when they decay, that extra pollution would just bleed right into the base immediately. So you could put like a single stack of it, but no more. And then if you had a single stack of it and it was decaying faster than the Pollux tree could catch up, it would end up polluting right into your base anyway. So the reason to do it up here is there's a bunch of unpolluted tiles up here, and the way pollution works is it just finds the closest tile. So if all of these tiles fill up, it's going to start filling it up here. or possibly the northern edge of a farm. But basically, it just finds like the nearest unpolluted area and pollutes that area. So, you know, if we had it rot up here, it would pollute this spot, for instance, where the other Pollux tree is. And that's just how it works. It's like a perfect layer of pollution, if you will, where it's like Zerg creep. It's gonna just keep creeping. So that's why it's not really worth putting here. Instead, what I'm gonna do is end up moving these Pollux trees around to clean up other areas, or to then put it back here. Because one thing you could hypothetically do is take like a cleaner area and wall it up around the tree beyond its like bounds, and then keep dropping pollution there, where because it's not next to your base, there's much less of a risk of contaminated pollution leaking in. Okay, so you say don't bother designating the indoor areas indoors. I'm on it. So, right now, we've got some, like, old armor that Good could wear. But basically, we're just sort of more or less waiting for, you know, waiting for the refugees who are only here for, like, 20 more hours to leave, and then we'll consider going to the Ancient Dangers. Now, the only problem I have with the Ancient Danger is, if they're hostile, I don't really have, like, a shock lance or something else that could, like, stop them from being angry with me. So there's a huge risk to their life, depending on how we do it. So we have to be careful about how we do it. And I think the method I'm going to use, at least for this one, is to, like, wall it up, but, like, just plop a door here, open it up with, Sakura, who will be invisible, and then just, like, repair the structure so that the occupant can't get out. Basically, they're, you know, wait until they exhaust themselves, because that's way the safest method. It's just very labor intensive, but, you know, we've got a labor pool, so I can do it that way and not fret too much about it. Yeah, the game somewhere explains that each tile is worth 6 or whatever, but when you watch pawns remove waste, they'll remove it in stacks of 6 tiles anyway. So it becomes a little bit self-evident if you watch. All right, so the shirts that we want to roll out to our people, our refugees, are getting ready. And I think, Kadath, where did you like super speeded? Okay, you are actually working on another shirt. Good. Because what I would like to do is I'd like to leave them with reasonably intact clothing. As, like, you know, them being guests of our lovely home. And it might also keep, like, Mr. Addicted Alcohol from losing his mind. Although okay, no, unfortunately it does not overlap. I was about to say we should be getting alcohol. Oh, no, hold on. Here you go, Tony. We do have booze. I'll put beer on the bench, too. I thought you were... This is weird. He's actually assigned beer? 1 beer every 3 days if mood is below 70%, which all of that is true. So I have no idea why he wasn't drinking beer. Because by all rights, he should be. But whatever, alright. Now he's not gonna lose his mind. Good. Sakura. Becoming Psycaster level 8, and the advantage of that is she's getting pretty close to being able to mentor. Because we had the thought of her also being a mentor. And she just picked up Stabilize, which is sort of like a Cauterize that the vampires use. It stops them from bleeding out a while. Should be helpful. Alright, Good is the only one with tattered apparel now. And she has both tattered and tainted, which is, like, unfortunate. And I would really love to get her some fresh armor. So that's what the whole, like, fabrication push is. Now, the other thing is I have 3 advanced components. And I think it's probably reasonable for us to add a ground pendant scanner. So that we can start ground scanning for more gold, plasteel, you name it. I'm thinking maybe like a spot back here is probably safest because it's not likely to come under attack by shamblers, as this is a natural wall that's not going to get attacked by shamblers. And I can link it up with the hallway here. So maybe that's what I do. And we are also amassing marble blocks. Because we are trying to slowly make our sanctuary non-flammable and not made of marble. Let's see. I'm like, the ground pen scanner is made of advanced components. We only have 3, and we need 3 to get a fab bench and the scanner up. So there is a bit of a danger of it like breaking and then me not being able to replace it because we don't have the ability to make advanced components yet. But like, I think it's worth the risk. So maybe I'll shove it in here. It's a little dumb in turn. Oh, never mind. There's mud there. Okay, I will bridge up the mud and shove it in there. It's a weird spot. It's kind of just like wedging it in. But I think if I combine it with the rest of the research room and break down the wall, it can be like indoors, but benefit from the unroofed section or whatever. I don't know. That's the thinking. Andrew, thank you for the resub. And XGamer 2. Sloan's getting mentored now. Up to 30%. Pretty good. Oh boy. Alright, let's adjust our outside zones. Don't even go in there. Because we got shamblers like right next to the base. Is there any wildlife? No? Okay. There's a lot of unsown plants. Like, why aren't they growing more? Probably because I wasn't allowing sowing. Actually, I was going to phase out rice altogether. And I think we have enough vegetables stockpiled to do that now. I'm a little worried of making the change because if you make it too early, you like won't have the resources to carry over to a new crop type. But I'm gonna jump to corn now. We'll hope it isn't too soon. The other thing we're going to need to do is if the refugees are leaving in just like minutes, 3 hours, depending on the direction that they leave, if they're trying to go west or northwest, we're going to need to escort them out. The southern half of the map is pretty safe. The northern half of the map is screwed and disgusting. I mean, it's hyper nasty is a word I'm going to use. It's hyper nasty up there. It's horrible. It's full of corpses that are just dying and resurrecting in some sort of like Sisyphusian Mobian strip. like everlasting corpse kind of way. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. And we need to be careful about like how the refugees traverse and leave. All right, so they are leaving. Good. Is rice worse than corn? So rice is highest yield per square meter, but it is also effortful. Oh wait, they're leaving in different directions. Because you harvest rice frequently, it takes a lot of effort to plant, sow, plant, sow, plant, sow. Whereas corn is highest yield. Potatoes is rugged to poor soil fertility. Every crop basically has its niche, in other words. And depending on... okay, so Tony is going east. I am having... actually, Nabila, you see your friend off. You came here together, so you see them off. Oh, Sail, how about you don't go that way? Go this way. Yeah. Don't go north. But yeah, every crop has its niche. I mean, I would say, like, berries, not so much. I guess you can eat berries raw and not suffer mood penalties for raw berries. Nutrifungus, you can plant in the dark. So, like, all of the food crops have their own special niche fulfillment, if you will. All right, I'm pretty sure Tony and Sail are going to make it out, so I'm going to have Nabla and Good come back. Those refugees survived. Okay, that's not too close to Tony. I think Tony will be fine. All right, and charity fulfilled. Quest was completed. I did not let them die. This is a little weird, like building it in this way with like a hallway here, but whatever, it's how I'm gonna do it. So we're gonna remove the roof off here. Oh, that's not gonna work. It has overhead mountain. Well, hyper derp. Fine. Do it like that. Nabla, you are failing construction at 9. I guess you have a hand scar. Adorable Timberwolves. I'll take a look at that in just a moment. Sakura was doing extra prayer for the ability to regrow limbs, but I think I'm going to wait to cast that on like Nabla or someone else for when just after a fight, someone like Scorp, because I don't necessarily want them laid up for like a dangerous part of the or a raid time. So like wait just after we get attacked would be better. Sloan is almost half done learning to be a Psycaster. Sweet. All right, so Timberwolves. This skill trainer is for mining, and it is asking me to take care of 2 Timberwolves for 25 days, and we could gain those rewards. Do we take care of wolves? It's surprising that someone even has Timberwolves on a planet like this, but obviously they're royal, and it was some sort of privilege. And now that we have, once this section of the sanctuary is built, I'll go to the Ancient Danger, and we'll hit that. Now, technically, these trees overlap, which is inefficient, but whatever. It still has plenty of pollution removal expansion left to go, so it's not a big deal. Not a lot of wolf lovers in the chat. Well, I don't know. It's up to you. The trouble, of course, with feeding wolves is, like, they would have to eat simple meals or be offered, like, raw rice or something, because it's not like we have meat for kibble. But, you know, whatever. Alright. Kadath, I'm going to temporarily have you stop auto-psycasting speed because you're spending way too much of your time meditating, and I have building projects to work on, and I need you helping with that. Alright, let's just fix, or rather finish, this section. And then I'll queue up the ground scan. So it's still a laboratory. And because of its size, it is roofed up because it is larger than 36 tiles. So it can be heated and cooled. And it looks like I am lacking steel to be able to build it. So we'll have to get that. So the close to home, yep, the steel's still allowed. Good. What was area 1 again? I think it was temporary. Shambler assault. So we have 47 shamblers coming 2 different directions. One from the south, one from the northeast. The south is going to hit us first. We're going to say no wolves. That seems to be the result of that poll. It was close, but no. Unfortunately, in this cardinal direction, I don't have one of these burn boxes. So the corpse management will have to be a little manual. And then Good's armor is rather worn out, so we have to be mindful about that as well. Making sure she doesn't break her armor, because that would be a problem. Frenzy, Blade Focus, Adrenaline Rush, Speed Boost. And I'll manually cast Skip. And have you back up a little bit. We're getting overrun. Of course, could just draw back like this and use... Yeah, I'll just do that. Because I think we have their attention. I think we have their aggro. Not completely, because some get... Oh, yeah, there's a real... no, that's not that big of a clump. Icefire, thank you for the resub. Alright, let's go ahead and use a word of healing on Good. I know it's in the middle of combat, but she should heal faster while she's getting hurt. I'm gonna risk a little bit of friendly fire to, like, stack more shooters up. Let's see. The dead are not really paying attention to anyone but the walls, so I'm gonna have these shooters come out and sort of shoot backwards. Oh, we had a... Okay, so the north... How'd you guys get in? Oh, the door. Yeah, okay. Well, I'm glad I moved when I did. That was fortuitous. I, like, avoided getting ambushed. Our armor's down to 20%. Oh, uh-oh. I cannot wait to have more brawlers. Once we have the, like, means to arm them and armor them. Sakura, let's have you drop another solar pinhole. Everyone else back up a little bit, buying us some time. Oops, Sakura took, ouch, that's rough. Could be worse. Now, the worry with this is it was a large enough group that, like, I don't want them resurrecting. Because you can get into, like, this perpetual loop of, like, you can't kill them fast enough, so they perpetually resurrect. So, speed is, like, a big issue with how quick we clear. So, I think all of the shamblers that are part of the assault team are now coming in to us. I think we have everyone. These are just the last of the stragglers. And then some, like, random shamblers that are, like, coming in from the behind. But yeah, I don't see any more up. Cool. Okay, Kadath. I'm gonna use a whole bunch of bioferrite to try to speed up the process of corpse removal. No, don't put the fires out. Put the fires in? The opposite of out? Nobly, you're new. Let's have you be the corpse cleaner. Alright, so Sakura got patched up. Scorp, I want you to practice your medicine tending on good. But maybe, well, I know you're right next to a corpse. It's fine. And then, Rascal, have you come and start working on some of these up here. We just have to be careful about, like, setting them on fire and hurting each other. I'll have Kadath help out as well. Someone lost an arm? Did they? I don't see any arms missing. No. And we got scars, but no actual missing limbs of any sort. I mean, before, sure, but, like, Sakura can heal that stuff. So, most of the corpses are patched up. Not all, but most. And, we will have to patch the holes in the wall. Here, you guys are both dismissed. Oh, good. You should not be eating that anymore. I'll let you eat that one, but none beyond it. Burn up this body. I know you're in a bad mood and I need to give you some R&R. But burn up that body for me. There's a few extra bodies over here I see that I'm going to want to probably clean up at some point. But I'll get the ones on my walls first because they're a little bit more urgent and dire. The Vrigo limbs can heal scars. It's just there's a finite amount of healing per cast. And it hits like random health problems. So you can end up in a situation where there's no more healing left for the spell. So that's why some of the scars remained. Alright, I think the bodies are all cleaned up. Kadath, I'm going to have you do wall patching. So there's two holes in the wall and the 2 broken doors. At some point, I would like to replace the doors we have with like toughened auto doors, rather than these wooden doors that don't hold up to anything. But that's like a long-term wish. Probably nothing to do in the immediate near future due to the expense. One of the issues, of course, is that anything electrical can break down, or most things that are electrical can break down and require components to repair. So auto doors is a really good way to burn through all of your components, as I'm sure a lot of you already know. Which is why I generally don't do auto doors until you're like a really wealthy late game colony, because otherwise you're just gonna have to replace components constantly, and it's really, really annoying. Okay, there it is. Ground pen scan. And Kadath is going to also put the trayer in, and this will hopefully find some plasteel. There we go. We've got an enclosed base. And the get fabrication up there is like really for advanced fabrication. So it does allow us to put a fabrication bench in though, which you're probably going to want in sooner or later. And the question is, where do we put it? So one school of thought is we could actually just build... So we could have this be our workshop and move the beds out to a proper bedroom at some point. We probably want to do that. However, if the kitchen's here, we would need to have the dining room somewhere else. We could also remove some wind and instead rely more on the geothermal generator, which is already supplying the vast majority of our power needs, by putting a workshop down here, which is a pretty reasonable thing to do, because we can also get our power from water power, which is more of a constant and less variable. It would just require us to like set up watermill generators in the water. So I'm going to say this is option 1. This is my least favorite, but also option 2 technically, and this is option 3. And then the question is, of course, where to put the workshop. Where to put the workshop? 1, 2, or 3. Hey, Chan. Thank you for dropping in. Pleasure to have you on stream. And also, cheers. So Nabla is fixing up a lot of the walls. The Sanctuary is now 125, which is pretty solidly above 120, which was the big push, so that it wouldn't teeter-totter with a little bit of filth. And that's really helpful when trying to get good rituals. So that was something I deemed as like important as a result. And it's been done, which is nice. And then I'm probably going to need, I mean, research is a pretty high priority for a bunch of different people. So we're going to, 50. We're going to want, you know, more time on the ground scanner, because barely any time has been spent so far. Why not below the lab? Because I didn't want it there. Easiest answer ever. Because it was up to me, and I made the decision. Different options. But also not below the lab. Our stockroom's here, and I wanted it adjacent to the stockroom. So, this is one choice only because we already have stuff set up there. It's not close to the stockroom, mind you. And then the other two are adjacent to the stockroom. Because some things like the biofuel refiner, I can't move. So putting a workshop where it is now can make some sense, but whatever. It looks like option number 3 is going to be the choice. I'll remove these. And I think I'm only going to remove one wind turbine for now. But then I'll have to rewire. Oh, no. I set up the wires so that it could. Okay, cool. And then I'm going to change the conduits around a little bit because they low-key don't make sense for the current floor print of our base. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld Inquest of the Dead, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Inquisitors.